on COIDA 101, what a small business owner needs to know about COIDA. Okay, what we'll be covering today on the agenda is a bit of housekeeping, introduction of who I am, and COIDA basics. Then we're gonna do some Q&A, so there'll be time left at the end to cover some questions that you might have about COIDA. And then finally, a gift if you stay around. We all love gift, guys. Okay, cool. Some housekeeping. The webinar is being recorded and the slide decks will be provided upon your request. This is basic COIDA 101 for small businesses who might not be clear on what COIDA is about. Why should I care about it? Why do I have to pay such a fee for COIDA? What's in it for me? So we're here to answer those basic questions. A little bit about myself. So I consider myself to be a risk taker because, guys, like all small business owners that are here, if you leave the comfort of corporate, there is an element of risk within you. I also run an accounting firm called Ndzumo Consulting, where we help small businesses pay little to no taxes legally, of course. We also do provide bookkeeping as well as payroll services for small businesses. So I am a mother of 4. So this coming Easter holidays is not going to be a picnic for me, no break. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And if I can tap into my why did I start this company? It was mainly because I realized that a lot of small businesses are experts at what they do. They are really, really good at what they do, be it they are architects, engineers, whatever the case may be. They are excellent at what they do. However, the financial side of the business is not their strongest point. So that's why I'm here to say, I'm here to assist you in this area while you focus on what you're good at, and also bringing in sales into your company. What I hope for you from this webinar is that you take away at least something and implement it into your business. That's something that I always hope for business owners whenever I host a webinar. Because I doubt there's anything I'm going to say here today that is brand new information. However, unless you actually implement something you learned into your business, no change would ever happen. So one thing that I do hope from you is you take something that you hear today and actually do implement it into your business. And that's how you'll be able to see growth. Okay, a disclaimer. Let's see. There's a constant doorbell sound. Okay, so there's a note on the chat. There's a constant doorbell sound. Is somebody else hearing that as well? How's the sound for everybody? Let me actually just stop sharing a little.
Recording in progress.
Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you, Pam.
Okay, cool. So I'll proceed then. All right, cool. Okay, just a disclaimer now. I am not offering financial advice because financial advice does require that we look at each individual case at its own merit. So what I'm offering right here is the basics of what COIDA is about from a perspective of a business owner as well as an accountant. So if you need professional advice when it comes to COIDA, please reach out to a certified financial advisor to provide you with individual assessment of any cases that you are currently facing. Okay, a bit of a poll, né? Guys, this is not a lecture. At no point is this going to be a lecture, so your engagement is highly, highly appreciated. So just in the chats, you can say A, B, or C, I just want to get a feel of the business owners that are here with me today. A, you don't know what COIDA is or what it is about. Sorry, I forgot a T there, it's about. B, you do have a basic understanding of what COIDA is about. Or C, you might as well be hosting this webinar because you're a COIDA expert. So tell me, who is with us today? Okay, we've got A's and B's, that's great. I wouldn't mind a C as well. One or two C's just for those difficult questions. I'll say, come in, jump in. Okay, cool. I'm glad to see that there's a lot of people who do have a basic understanding of COIDA. I will cover some general questions because I do see that there is a couple of A's. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for indulging me. I do really appreciate that. So let's get started. Let's get started with the understanding of COIDA. So what is COIDA? COIDA is a law that provides compensation for employees who suffer injuries or disease arising out of and in the course of employment. So in a nutshell, it's basically a form of insurance. In case one of your employees gets injured or hurt while at work, or Lord forbid, somebody actually passes on while at work. So it's, as an employer, while the employees are doing work-related activities, they basically become your responsibility. So if somebody gets hurt while they're at work, any expenses that they incur, any loss of income that they incur, COIDA will ensure that they get compensated for that. So it's insurance in case somebody gets hurt, and that somebody is one of your employees. So COIDA, right? If you are an employer, so you have an employee, you are required to register for COIDA. It's a requirement by law. It's not something you do when you feel like it or when you'd like to. The moment you have an employee within your organization, you are required to register for COIDA. It's a requirement by law. As an employer, if an employee gets injured at work, you are required to report the incident within 7 working days to the Department of Labor, right? And to also provide medical treatment to employees. So meaning that if somebody gets hurt at work, help them to be provided with the necessary medical assistance, and then do the necessary submissions to COIDA. So the next thing is, how do you handle workplace injuries and disease? Like I indicated, first and foremost, ensure that the employee gets seen to by the right type of, be it going to the doctor, going to the hospital. That's the starting point. The next thing is then you, the employer, should then report the incident within 7 days to COIDA so that they are also updated with regards to any injuries that happened while the employees are at work. So like I indicated, COIDA is a mandatory requirement by law. The moment you have employees, you have to register for COIDA. So what happens if you choose not to register for COIDA, or you don't register for COIDA, or you are registered for COIDA and then you don't pay the annual fee? Well, for one, you are therefore no longer compliant with the law. And we all know when you're not compliant with the necessary law, there's certain risks that your company is exposed to. Risk of litigation because you are not compliant. If an employee gets injured at work and then they put a claim because you did not ensure that they were the company was insuring the employees, then there's litigation issues. There's also reputational damage that your company will be exposed to, because imagine your name, your company being put out in the news that an employee got injured at work, and then the company was not covered for COIDA. That reputational damage that it could have to your potential clients as well could be severe for your company. Yes, it's a comment. So what are some of the practical strategies for compliance with regards to COIDA? First and foremost, ensure that the company is registered for COIDA, right? Secondly, ensure that within your organization, within the workspace of the employees, there are safety protocols in place. Do a regular risk assessment within your workplace to ensure that the company, the workplace for the employees continues to being free of risk. You know, obvious things like if there's wires hanging out of the roof, that's a major business. I mean, a risk for the well-being of your employees. So doing the necessary assessment to ensure that the company continues being a safe working place for your employees is something that you can ensure gets done for your company. So COIDA helps to protect your business as well as the employees. Like we indicated, if your company is registered for COIDA, which is a legal requirement, then you're protected for any legal issues with regards to non-compliance. Your employees also get covered in case they get injured while at work. So that's how your company gets protected as well as the employees. What are the tax implications for the COIDA fees that you pay, as well as any claims that your company might claim against COIDA? For one, the annual fee that gets paid to COIDA is a business expense and therefore is deductible as part of your normal expenses for the company. And any claims that the company gets from COIDA, those are tax exempt. Why should a small business owner care about COIDA apart from the fact that it's a requirement by law? There's also because of access to opportunities. Some clients that you want to work with will require that your company has a COIDA certificate in order to put you into their database, in order to award you that contract. They will say, issue us with your letter of good standing so we can ensure that the company is covered for COIDA. Now, why would some companies do this? Imagine you bring in, let's say you do construction and you go to a client's site to build a new business, a new building, right? And you bring in your employees. And while you are at the client's premises, one of your employees gets injured. COIDA will ensure that because your company is registered for COIDA, then your employees will be covered and your client will not have to be liable for any injuries that have been incurred, even though you are at the client's premises. So that's why some companies insist that any service provider they bring on board does have a COIDA certificate to prove compliance. So I'm gonna touch on some of frequently asked questions, which I hope will help you clarify most of the things that get asked when it comes to COIDA. The first question that gets asked, Pam, what does COIDA stand for? So COIDA stands for Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Act. So it's actually COID, meaning COID. The A is just for the act that that ensures that there is this insurance available to employees. So COIDA stands for Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases. The next question that frequently gets asked is, when should my company be registered for COIDA? The straight answer is this: when your company has one or more employees. Within 7 days, your company is required by law to be registered for COIDA. Another question, is it a legal requirement to register for COIDA or COID? The answer is Yes, it is a legal requirement to register for COID. The moment you have one or more employees, you have to register. Are the industries that are excluded from COIDA? There's some industries that are excluded mainly because they have their own insurance fund. Industries like government, certain mining and building sectors are excluded from the general COIDA because they have their own funding, insurance fund. What are the costs for COIDA? The first one is the fee that you need to pay towards the compensation, because remember, this is insurance. So for insurance, there's a payment that you need to pay towards getting the cover. So there is that fee. The second fee that small businesses sometimes incur is that they use a service provider to help them register for COIDA and as well as do the annual submissions towards the COIDA. So that fee that they then pay, be it your accountant or any external party who is helping you with the registration, as well as the annual submission, that's an additional fee that gets charged. When to pay for COIDA? COIDA covers your company for 12 months period. So you pay an annual amount that covers you for the next 12 months. Payment is made in April and will cover you for the next 12 months. So an example, if you pay for COIDA, let's say you register and pay for COIDA in January, you'll only be covered up until April. And then April, the new financial year for COIDA begins to cover you for the next 12 months. And then you pay an annual fee. It is an annual fee because the question was asked, is it a monthly or annual fee? It's an annual fee that covers your company for 12 months. What are the benefits for COIDA? Well, if an employee gets injured while at work, then and a claim has been successful with COIDA, then medical costs that the employee has incurred, loss of income, all those will be covered. If an employee gets permanently disabled, there will be compensation for that. Lord forbid an employee dies while at work, then there will be monies that are paid over to the employee's family. It's all the benefits for the insurance. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that small businesses, not just small businesses, but business in general, face when dealing with COIDA. The process for the claiming can be very long and tedious. So there is always that challenge that is associated when you are trying to claim for COIDA. The process for registering and submitting your annual returns, however, has been made to be a little bit shorter, particularly when you are registering online. Okay. Apart from the questions that I've already raised, or if there's anything you need clarity on, this is the time for you. Do you have any questions for me with regards to COIDA? Okay, I see a hand. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name so badly, but you who's got your hand raised, please unmute and ask your question. Chimbawanda. Go ahead. You can just unmute and ask your question.
Okay, my name is Chimbwandane.
Okay. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, and you?
I'm great, thanks.
Thank you very much to be with you on the COID issue.
Yes.
My question is, if I'm registered with COIDA, there is a time, like my business, I'm doing construction. Sometimes I'll be having work, sometimes I will be not having work.
Yeah.
So I just want to find out what will be happening by the period if I don't have any worker. what am I going to handle my issue with the payments so that I will remain compliant? Because you see, sometimes if you are not working, there is nothing which you will be getting out of the work, you know. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So let's remember that COIDA will cover you for 12 months. So are you saying there's times where for an entire 12 months there is no work? Or maybe it's just maybe every month now and then there is no work?
It's like now and then, because you know our work. If I have like a work, I might have a work. Then I would do it maybe for 2-3 months. Then
Yeah.
it's done. Then I'll take another 3 or 4 months without getting anything. How
Yeah,
am I going to handle my financial issues so that I will remain
compliant.
compliant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So COIDA, you pay it once a year for 12 months. So for 12 months, you get cover. If let's say during, I don't know, September and October, there were no contracts, therefore there was no job coming in, COIDA, you still covered. If anybody gets injured, even when there's no work, your company is still covered for 12 months, right? But remember, like any other insurance, it's like me having car insurance. I'm covered in case my car gets involved in an accident. Just because the car is parked at home doesn't mean that I stop paying insurance because something could happen. It's just insurance in case something happens. So the good thing is that you get covered for 12 months. So you can rest assured that during the months when there is work, when there is a risk of somebody getting injured while at work, your company will be covered. Are you with me?
Okay.
Okay. All right. I see there's a question from Tsepo. Tsepo is asking, how much is the annual COIDA fee? So the annual COIDA fee is dependent on a number of factors. It's not set in stone that it's 10,000, it's 5,000, it's 50,000. There's a number of factors that get taken into account. One is the industry that you're operating in. If you operate in a high risk industry, meaning that in an industry where the risk of injury is high, the annual fee will definitely be higher than industries where it's office based and people just come to the office and go home. Whereas if you're in construction where people are you with me? So wherever there's higher risk, then the annual fee will also be higher because there's high risk related to the employees that work there. Also, the number of employees and also the salaries of the employees gets factored into how much the annual fee is. All right, I hope I've answered that question. Okay, Togo says, I have not been working for 5 years since COIDA. I am in construction. So I'm not sure what your question is, Togo. You can just unmute after I take Eugene's hand. Yes, Eugene? Okay, Eugene's hand is down. I'm not sure if I already answered your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
The question that I wanted to ask is, I have registered with COIDA. It was last year, and I went to Department of Labor, right? And the lady that worked there, she assisted me in registering for COIDA.
Okay.
But when I received the invoice to make payment, I don't know if you're in construction. Well, most of the construction companies mostly pay almost the same amount for paying your invoice now, né? Or will it differ from each other? Because what we do, we work with steel and we repair homes and all of those things, right?
Yeah.
But the invoice I received is so far away from some of my friends that also have COIDA, that also registered, that let me make an example. They paid 1,400, 500 around there, right? For the cover, for COIDA.
Yeah.
But when I received my my invoice, it was basically almost 14,000. It was 13,000 something. But it didn't seem okay for me. So I just wanted to find out, why was it like that? And if it is not right, can it be rectified?
Okay. So the other business owners, are they also in construction?
Yes, they're also in construction.
Do they
We
have
basically do the same things.
Okay, and do they have the same number of employees and the same, are they paying roughly the same amount for their salaries?
They actually have more employees, because I'm just a startup company.
Yeah.
I'm just a startup company, and I registered for COIDA because I'm a startup company, and I haven't had any revenue yet. You hear what I'm saying? And it hit me there, say basically 14,000, and I was shocked. I didn't know. And until today I haven't paid it, because I thought that there's something is not right there. And I've tried to speak to a few people. There's this company partners. You also see it when you log into Department of Labor for COIDA.
Yeah.
I even tried speaking to them. They said that they can't help me. I have to phone Department of Labor straight and to sort this thing out.
Yeah, because ultimately,
But if I try that, if I try to phone them, it's like I can't seem to find the right person to talk to.
Yeah, you definitely would have
in regards to this.
Yeah, it's something that you'd have to take up with the Department of Labor, because they are the ones that determine the rates. So you can definitely inquire as to why the rate is as high as it is when compared to the other companies that you've seen the returns for. But that it is a calculation that is done by the department. So, but they do take into account the industry you're in, the number of employees, the salaries that the employees are earning. So yes, we can't answer that because it is determined by the department. So your next step is to go to the department and ask this question. But not paying is not then taking away the responsibility that you have, which is to be COIDA compliant. So rather, go find out why it is what it is, but saying I'm just not going to do anything is not covering your company and is definitely not covering your employees. Okay.
I hear you. That is what I already did. I did do that. I did go back to Department of Labor. But where I'm staying, it's far away from head office. The lady that helped me, she's always going on these courses, those government courses and all of those things.
She'll be gone for a week.
But then she'll be gone for a week. Nah? And she's the one that registered for the company.
Yeah.
It's like I'm stuck now. I don't know what to do.
Escalated every organization. There is mechanisms to escalate issues that you're having. So if you're having issues with the person that is the front end, then ask to speak to their manager and escalate it. But you're already on the right track if you are dealing directly with the department. Okay, I'm looking at the time. It's past. I am going to stay up until 10 o'clock, but let me just close off the presentation because it is supposed to be only 30 minutes long. It's only for information purposes. I was hoping that we could have time just to cover on if anybody has had a claim for COIDA and what their experience have been. And then lastly, how we can help you. As accountants, we can help you to register for COIDA if you are not yet registered, or to pay the annual fee that is coming up for April. So this webinar has been timed, trust me. So the annual fee that is up and coming, so that you can get your letter of good standing for COIDA. We can also send you an ebook that we have on the 10 top reasons business owners change accountants. I'll put that in the chats. And I do offer free 30-minute consultation for small businesses on how we can help them pay little to no taxes, help them with any bookkeeping issues they have, as well as payroll submissions. Our next webinar is happening on the 25th of April, same time, 9 till 9:30. And I would really appreciate it if you can tell me what you as business owners would like us to discuss. Does not have to be limited to taxes, to payroll, to bookkeeping. As long as it affects small businesses, I'm open to discussing it and bringing in industry as experts when necessary. We are available on call as well as WhatsApp on 063-492-3232. You can check us out on www.ndzumoconsulting.co.za. You can also send any emails, any queries that you have to inquiries@ndzumoconsulting.co.za.
You
And
can
we serve
questions about claims.
Okay. And we service all companies within South Africa. No matter where you are, as long as you're within the boundaries of South Africa, we can be able to assist you. So officially, the webinar has ended, but I am going to be staying around until 10 o'clock to answer any other additional questions you have, and for you guys to possibly share your experiences with regards to COIDA and raise any more questions. Okay. The webinar has officially ended. You can stay around if you have any more questions until 10 o'clock. Okay, cool. So there is a question that has come in. Okay, some of these, they're direct to me. There's a question, Deborah has asked, is this session recorded? The answer is yes, this session is recorded, and we will email you a link to our YouTube channel where you can watch it over and over and over again and share it with any other business owners that you know that could benefit. Okay, let me just go up to some of the questions that we asked.
Morning.
Good morning, Deborah. Cool.
How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And how are you?
I'm well, thanks. My question will be, my COIDA expired and I went to the offices in Pretoria and I was told that I need to make arrangement. But now the challenge that I had was the arrangement that they were talking about, because I was paying them around I'm owing them around 14,000, which I don't even know this year how much am I going to be
Liable for.
Exactly. Now, my question is, in this arrangement that they are saying I need to make, is it for 3 months? Because I was not told whether it's 3 months or 6 months. Because of this COIDA thing, it makes our lives so difficult to operate our business if we don't have. And the worst part of it, if the business was not operating or injecting any cash, it becomes a problem. And the other part is some of the employees resigned, and I don't know whether you have to inform them that now that the amount of people that I used to have, they've reduced to this amount. So I wanted that kind of clarification on that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for your question. All right, let me just stop sharing so I can be able to see you guys. Okay, so let's start with the last one, where like if the employees have resigned. So again, COIDA is covering you for 12 months. If they resign within the 12 months, you just happen to have overpaid. But the same applies if more employees come in during the year, they will also be covered because they are within the 12 month when the company is registered. So it works both ways. Okay. Now, your other question was, what is the other question? The other element, your question?
I'm trying to no, the other question
was
was
for the arrangement, I think.
yes.
That you'll have to find out because I don't have the full details. So when you guys were discussing with them, what did they say is the arrangement? So I'm not sure. I don't know what you guys.
In terms of I can't remember. They never explained to me whether this arrangement is going to be for 3 months or 6 months. And what I was told is that I need to motivate, which I did. I was supposed to have submitted, which is something that I'm in a process of doing that. But now I don't know how many months, whether is it 3 months or 6 months to make arrangement. That's the problem that I'm having. Whether is it 3 or 6 months when you make arrangement with them.
So the best bet is just to go back to them and get clarity. Is it for 3 months or 6 months? Because it's hard for me to say what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not part of the discussion. But it does not hurt to just go back and get the necessary clarity that you need so that you're able to motivate.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Butle asked, is it necessary to register fixed contract workers? As long as they are employees, then yes. Again, it protects them if they get injured while they are doing work. So if they're in the production of income, if they're at work and they get injured, it will protect you as well as them. So the answer is yes. Go ahead, Ruth. Hi, Ruth. You unmute. You can ask your question. Okay, muted again. Yeah, I'm going through things. Lungani asked, can I register myself as the only employee? So, Lungani, I'm assuming you are the director or the owner of the company and therefore have no other employees. So if that assumption is correct, then COIDA says when you have one or more employees, so apart from the shareholders and the directors. But for good practice, I would say still register, because if you don't have COIDA, then potential clients will not give you opportunities because you don't have that letter of good standing. Tenders, you will not get access to them if you don't have a letter of good standing. So I'd say still register.
So can I?
Yes, Lungan.
Yeah, I just wanted. So who do I put in there? Do I put myself or do I look for? Okay, thank you. Thank you for that clarity. Sure.
Sure. Okay. Then there's a question. Can you explain the difference between WCA and RMA? WCA, I'm assuming, sorry guys, there's a lot of acronyms, but I'm assuming you're talking about the Workmen Compensations Act. If it's not that, please just advise. Workmen Compensation Act is basically COIDA. It's what it used to be referred to previously. It's the same thing. So it's the insurance in case an employee gets injured, right? And then RMA is one of the companies that can assist you in the process of applying for COIDA, as well as helping you with any necessary claims that you find yourself wanting to claim from COIDA. Okay, viewer asks, do you pay pro rata fee or full annual fee? That's if you register your company in January and COIDA's financial year end is April. The short answer is COIDA determines what the fee will be, but it will only cover you for that period of time. So in April, you then have to register, you then have to apply again to renew your COIDA certificate. So every year in April, you have to renew your certificate. Even if you said, but I just got the registration in January. So that registration you got in January and you paid the fee for will cover you from January till April only. And then from April for the next 12 months, you have to renew. Every April you have to renew. Okay. Okay, direct message. Can you claim for COIDA if the injury does not lead to income loss or disability? I don't think you can, because then what are you claiming for? Are you with me? It's like, yeah, it's insurance. So if there's nothing to claim, then I don't believe, because there's nothing for you to claim for. So I stand corrected, but if there's nothing to claim for, I don't think you can claim. Okay. Okay, I said I have not been trading since 2019. Is it difficult? It is difficult to get jobs if you don't have a letter of good standing. Can you give us at least one letter of good standing so that we can work and be able to pay? Okay, Togo, do you mind unmuting and maybe just elaborating on your question? If you can please just unmute. So I understand what you're saying, that you have not been working since 2019. Togo, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi,
Thank
Togo,
you
how are
for the
you?
opportunity. Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Yes, I have not been. Yes, I have not been trading since COVID-19.
Okay.
Can the Department of Labor compensate us and give us at least a 1-year certificate so that you'll be able to work? Because if you are in construction and you don't have this letter of good standing, you can't get jobs. At least if you can give us, compensate us and give us 1 year, since this COVID has crippled our businesses. I know it has not been done, but if I'm asking you to do it, please.
Togo has
So
given me
that-
the powers that be.
so that we can work, at least for 1 year and pay back whatever we owe. You
Okay,
see, since 2019.
Sure. No, I understand, Togo, but let's remember what the insurance covers, right? COIDA is insurance in case an employee gets injured at work. Are you with me? So now, what you're basically asking me, Togo, is, let's say my medical aid is with Discovery, and then I go to Discovery and say, Discovery, I know you cover me in case I'm in hospital or whatever, but I haven't paid my school fees, my kids' school fees. Can you please make a plan? Like,
I know I'm asking possible questions. I'm just taking my shots. Yeah. Okay.
So,
No, it's
okay.
fine.
Now let me share my thoughts with you, fellow business owner to another business owner. If your company has not been trading, they are called ESD programs. So it's enterprise supplier development programs that are supposed to help small businesses, right? So you, in your industry, you said you're in construction, in your industry, find out the large construction companies. I stand corrected, but like your WHBO, right? Go to them. So go to the large construction companies and ask them, how are you supporting small businesses? They have to, by law, they are required to support small businesses. Large companies that are listed on the JSE have to support small businesses. So go to the large companies in your industry and find out how they support small businesses. And then you can say to them, I'm having a challenge paying my COIDA and it's holding me back from accessing opportunities. Can you support my business by paying on my behalf?
Okay.
So that's what you can do.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't know about that.
You're welcome, dear.
Thanks, Pamela. Right then. Bye.
Bye. Okay. All right. If there are any other questions, I just want to look at some of the questions that were raised during the registration process for the event, if they've been answered. Okay, one of the questions that was asked and actually answered by another accountant, David, the question was, do NPOs or NGOs have to register for COIDA? The answer is yes. The moment you have employees within your company, organization, in this case, you have to register for COIDA. Again, what is COIDA? It's insurance in case an employee gets injured or has a disease or, Lord forbid, passes on while at work. All right. Another question came in is, what are the dangers of not renewing COIDA and an employee gets injured at work? Then the first thing is, one, your company is not being compliant. The second thing is, you might be liable, your company might be liable for any costs that incurred, any loss of income that the employee has incurred because they got injured while at work. So if you don't submit the annual returns and you don't renew COIDA, then there is that risk that you're exposing your company to. The question is, why is COIDA so expensive? It's insurance, but also look at the benefits that you can get. If somebody gets injured, your company will be covered. It's just the nature of insurance. And then, okay, I think I've answered all the questions. If there's any other question that I have missed, please just let me know. We've got about 10 minutes left, and then I'll officially end the webinar. Okay. Okay, I see yes, I see a hand has been raised. Please go ahead.
Hello, Pamela, how are you?
I'm okay, and how are you, dear?
I'm good, thanks. So I want to go back to the question that was asked. The question was, you know, can you claim for COIDA if the injury does not lead to income loss or disability? So I think you said that, I mean, something needs to happen for you to claim because it's an insurance. But I think my question is that if you get injured and it doesn't result in income loss or temporary disability per se, are they going to pay for your medical expenses? Like maybe you're injured and you need to go to hospital, but I mean, you're not booked off for like more than 2 months or 3 months. Do they still pay for your medical expenses?
Okay, so legally, if there's an injury at work, the employer is required to disclose it. So to disclose to COIDA. So the employer should not then say, okay, maybe this is a minor injury, maybe this is that's for COIDA to do the assessment. Are you with me? So within 7 days, when there's an injury at work, the employer is required to, what's the word? Oh, there's a word that they use, but to disclose, to declare the injury. So I'm looking for the right English word. I have it here. So in a nutshell, just the moment there is an injury at work, the employer is required to report. The employer is required to report any incidents that happen to the department within 7 working days. And then the department will do the necessary assessment to say, okay, we'll cover for this and not for that, or we'll only cover to this extent because that's the extent of the injury. Are you with me? We are just required to do the report.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Let's see if I missed anything. Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Okay. Guys, please feel free to reach out to us if you've got any other questions. Maybe you don't feel comfortable discussing it on this platform. Again, we're available at www.ndzumoconsulting.co.za. And this recording will be shared with you so you can watch it over and over again. All right. Thank you so much, business owners, for your time. Your time is very valuable. So I do appreciate you putting in this time to join us on this webinar. Take care.